The News at Noon program is the best assembly of news and local weather for the Four Corners region. Give us your feedback and news alerts at 677-4119.
With all that said, I'm Kendra Cook, and my co-hosts are Kelsey Kiesling and Jerry Tope. And now, here's the news for you for June 1st, 2016. Reported in the Cortez Journal, as we mentioned on Monday, Dolores County farmer and native Stanley Daves was killed last Saturday afternoon when a truck struck his tractor on U.S. Highway 491 about a mile west of Dove Creek. According to Colorado State Patrol Captain Adam Driscoll, around 1:30 p.m., Daves, age 62, was eastbound on a 1966 John Deere tractor when a 2008 Ford F-150 with Arizona plates, also traveling east, struck the left rear corner of the tractor. Driscoll said the tractor rolled over and came to a rest on top of Daves, who was pronounced dead at the scene. The truck's driver, 68-year-old Justin Day of Lupton, Arizona, was arrested on suspicion of careless driving causing death. Driscoll said alcohol and excessive speed are not suspected. We believe fatigue was a factor, he said, but we don't know if he, Day, was trying to pass him, Daves, or what. Daves was born and raised in Dolores County, the third youngest child of 12 for Floyd and Glennis Daves. His sister-in-law, Margaret Daves, said Stanley lived his whole life in Dolores County, farming beans, wheat, and alfalfa, and working in a uranium mine. He was always friendly, liked to tease people and joke, Daves said. It's planting season around here, so he was moving his tractor from one field to another to plant corn. Daves said her brother-in-law, with his wife, Charlotte, also ran the Dinner Bell restaurant in Dove Creek. He was the best biscuit maker in town, she said. We're just devastated. It's been hard. Ernie Williams, a Dolores County commissioner, said he was good friends with Stanley Daves. He was a friend to a lot of people in the community and always helpful, Williams said. A memorial service for Stanley Daves is set for 10 a.m. this Friday at the Dove Creek High School.
According to the Cortez Journal, a federal grand jury has returned a 6-count indictment against a man accused of killing an 11-year-old Navajo girl who was abducted as she and her younger brother played on the way home from school. Federal prosecutors announced Thursday that the indictment charges Tom Begay Jr. with murder, aggravated sexual abuse, kidnapping resulting in death, and kidnapping of a minor. The 27-year-old Navajo man has been in federal custody since his arrest May 4th. An arraignment is scheduled June 7th. Authorities say Begay lured Ashlyn Mike and her younger brother into his van after school May 2nd. The boy later was freed and dozens of people began searching for the girl. Ashlyn's body was found the next day on the edge of the nation's largest American Indian reservation.
From the Grand Junction Daily Sentinel, in a push to protect the Bears Ears, unlikely allies call for monument designation of 1.9 million acres of world-class climbing and cultural sites in southeast Utah. The 6 Shooter Peaks are prized climbing areas that would become part of a proposed Bears Ears National Monument if the designation goes through. Bears Ears gets its name from a pair of bluffs that conjure up the image of an approaching bear. Climbers have formed a common alliance with a union of 5 Native American tribes to press for federal protection of the major swath of land near Canyonlands National Park, which, in addition to the world-class climbing routes, contains more than 100,000 Native American archaeological and cultural sites. 5 tribes whose ancestors once hunted the canyon country of eastern Utah, who their descendants say still haunt those rocks, have joined with the climber community in favor of the designation. Opponents of the monument proposal also have long memories, as well as different views of how to manage the steep walls of twisting ochre canyons that are a hallmark of the northernmost reaches of the monument proposal. President Bill Clinton's 1996 designation of the 1.8 million acre Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument without consulting local officials still rankles, said Jonathan Cox, spokesman for Utah Governor Gary Herbert. Many people still feel that federal management from D.C. is not needed, while local and state management is more in tune with the area of concern. Backers of the Bears Ears Monument gathered last week with the aid of Aspen-based EcoFlight at Canyonlands Airport to fly over the northernmost portion of the proposed national monument in hopes that they can get the ear of President Obama to extol the Bears Ears area. Supporters are hoping that any monument proclamation includes mention of rock climbing as important, recognized activities. Cornell Sotlot, a Zuni medicine man from Zuni, New Mexico, said the monument would keep the land as it is and has been since his forebears set foot in the ruddy desert dust. Rock climbers stress that they also feel a bond with the territory, though for different reasons, according to Caroline Gleich, a professional athlete and rock climber from Salt Lake City. The Indian Creek region around Six Shooter Peaks is hallowed territory for climbers known worldwide. Climbers want to work with the tribes, Gleich said, down to groups approaching a wall by following in one another's footsteps so as to disturb as little an area as possible, and by packing out their own waste. They would respect areas deemed out of bounds by the tribes and could be a separate set of watchers for the tribes, helping them locate ancient, long-forgotten sites or similar activities. The two groups share a disdain for energy development within the proposed Bears Ears Monument borders. Development for energy and potash used in the production of fertilizers is deemed to be the biggest threat to the area, especially on Hatch Point, which sits between Indian Creek and the snow-capped LaSalle Mountains to the east. Joining the tribes with climbers could be a potent political force. There are 3 to 6 million climbers in the U.S., a potentially significant voting bloc, according to Eric Murdoch, policy director for the Access Fund, which was founded to support access to climbing locations. Octavius Seotewa, also a Zuni medicine man, said it's a more natural alliance than it might appear. Before there was a Utah or Arizona, there was one vast land that our people used. He said, "Look at it this way, our ancestors were the first climbers."
According to the Cortez Journal, people linger at an outdoor cafe, children run around a park, and visitors tour a former coal mine, now a thriving museum. The one-time industrial site, which includes an events center, restaurants, and even a Ferris wheel, attracted 1.5 million visitors over the past 5 years. Zollverein, Germany, once home to one of Europe's largest coal mines, is now a retail and tourist destination. The second act at Zollverein may provide inspiration or aggravation for down-and-out coal communities in Wyoming's Powder River Basin and elsewhere in the West. March 31st has become known as Black Thursday in Wyoming since Arch Coal and Peabody Energy announced 465 layoffs at 2 major mines amid recent Chapter 11 bankruptcy filings in Arch, Alpha Natural Resources, and Peabody. Given the combination of crashing prices, bankruptcies, and global push to phase out fossil fuels, the layoffs are likely just beginning. In northeastern Wyoming, where coal provides 1 out of every 10 jobs and has generated billions of dollars for schools, roads, and other public services, plans for a popular museum or conference center seem far-fetched. Good jobs are scarce outside the energy industry, and retirement benefits from faltering companies seem uncertain. Many locals wonder how their small towns will survive. Given all this, the official government response feels underwhelming. While Zollverein is a long way from the Powder River Basin, the German mine is near a city of almost 600,000 people. U.S. economists and policy analysts are eyeing Europe, where governments, companies, and unions are charting a different path toward life after coal. Overseas, coal fields are also facing job cuts, but unemployment benefits generally last longer, job training and economic development programs are more extensive, and retirement benefits better protected. As concern over climate change has grown, Europe and the U.S. have taken different paths. In the U.S., coal-producing states and Congress have balked at steps to shift from coal to other industries, while Europe has more willingly embraced the transition.
According to the Cortez Journal report, a growing movement to remove laws against women going topless is headed to court in Colorado. A federal lawsuit filed Tuesday challenges Fort Collins's indecency code, which makes it a crime for women but not men to show their nipples. The Fort Collins City Council voted unanimously last year to keep a law that prohibits the display of female breasts, rejecting a growing movement to remove gender-specific indecency codes. The hometown of Colorado State University did make an exception for nursing mothers, but otherwise it remains a $250 fine for a woman over the age of 10 to display her breast, quote, below the top of the nipple. 2 women suing Fort Collins say the law is sexist. "Hey, my body is not indecent if it is not indecent," said Brittany Hoagland. Hoagland and fellow plaintiff Samantha Six seek an injunction against against the law. If a man is allowed to do it, so should I, Six said of going topless. Fort Collins spokesman David Young said in an email that the city is evaluating its response to the lawsuit and has no further comment. Other Colorado cities, including Boulder, Denver, and Vail, have removed gender-specific language in their indecency codes. Indecency codes are largely local, with very few states having laws on the books banning the exposure of female breasts. Gender-specific indecency laws have gotten increased attention in recent years. A 2014 film, Free the Nipple, explored the topic, and celebrities including Rihanna and Miley Cyrus have clashed with social media sites for censoring photos showing their nipples while not removing photos of topless men.
According to the Denver Post, in recent months, hoaxers have allegedly used proxy servers and other high-tech identity disguising tools to anonymously threaten schools online or in phone messages with electronic voices to trigger a huge police response, including SWAT teams. The latest threats led to the evacuation of schools in Colorado, Utah, Delaware, Minnesota, New Hampshire, and Wisconsin. Media outlets in the United Kingdom also reported evacuations. The threats were made against elementary, middle, and high schools, with some schools choosing to continue classes and others to put buildings on lockdown rather than evacuate. Some schools resumed classes after sweeps by authorities failed to turn up explosives or other threats. Some officials described Monday's threats as automated or robotic, and at least two at Lakewood High School outside Denver and at Ben Franklin Elementary School in Rochester, Minnesota, came in just before noon local time. Also in Minnesota, Forest Lake Elementary in the city of Forest Lake was evacuated after getting a bomb threat call around 12:15 p.m. Meanwhile, students at Murray High School outside Salt Lake City were sent home and bomb-sniffing dogs were brought in. No explosives were found. Two elementary schools were evacuated in Colorado, Liberty Point Elementary School and in Pueblo West, and Cherokee Trail Elementary in the Denver suburb of Parker. Cherokee Trail is in the same district where two 16-year-old girls are accused of plotting an attack against their high school. No other schools in the district were evacuated, spokeswoman Paula Hans said. And now, here's our weather report.
As per yesterday's report, the arrival of the high-pressure system is on track, and here, the only exception to warm and dry weather will be over the higher elevations east of us on the tops of the San Juans. The few showers and thunderstorms possible will end shortly after sunset, and tomorrow afternoon we'll see clouds over those hills again to the east, trying to repeat this afternoon's performance, whatever it is. A system in the Pacific Northwest will give rain to the northwest coast this evening and into Thursday, and will move to the east across the northern states. NOAA predictions made earlier this week that some Gulf moisture will be drawn to the western mountains by Sunday evening are still holding. A low-pressure system will slowly move through the central U.S., spreading showers and thunderstorms across portions of the central and northern plains and the upper Midwest. The cold front is forecast to be moving through the mid-Atlantic and northeast regions by Saturday morning. A second low-pressure system will exit the northern Rockies and move east through the northern plains, bringing more showers to the northern states. Coastal North Carolina and surrounding offshore areas will have periods of heavy rain as the last of Bonnie remains near the coast. Rainfall will range from 1 to 3 inches for that region, and the coast of North Carolina has flash flooding possible today. The southern extent of this system's cold front will surge southward through the southern plains. Circulation around the low will aid in streaming Gulf moisture again northward over the southern plains through Thursday morning. Showers and thunderstorms will develop over parts of the central and southern plains and the southern plains through Friday. Many thunderstorms will follow the same path, causing heavy rainfall and increasing the threat of flash flooding for the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley. Texas and southern Oklahoma will be soggy through the week, through the end of the work week, and more flash and ongoing flooding is likely for those areas. Rainfall from 1 to 4 inches will be common, with locally higher totals possible. Our 5-day forecast looks very typical of early summer for the Four Corners country. High temps begin in the mid-80s and climb to the upper 80s and threaten 90. Lows are predicted at the mid-40s and will climb to 50 by Sunday. So I guess it's high time to prep the air conditioners. Now back to the news.
According to the Denver Post, the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment says unemployment ticked up to 3.1% for April in the state. The Denver Post reported Friday that breaks a 63-month streak of lower or flat rates. Since January 2011, Colorado's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate either moved lower than or matched the previous months, falling from 8.8% to a low of 2.9% in March. Broomfield economist Gary Horvath says the unemployment rate couldn't have gone much lower than March's mark without creating larger problems for the labor market. Even with the increase, Colorado's unemployment rate remains at its lowest level since the early 2000s. The tight labor market contributed to a boost in average hourly earnings from $26.85 an hour in March to $27.44 an hour in April.
Denver Post article states that from small towns that barely dot the map to the state's largest urban areas, revenue from retail marijuana sales is helping communities address homelessness, send children to college, patch potholes, secure water rights, and fund an array of projects. Aurora is using $1.5 million of its revenue from pot sales and fees to address its homeless issue. Money also is going to road improvements and a new recreation center. Adams County has earmarked more than $500,000 for scholarships for low-income students. Wheat Ridge keeps its revenue in the city's general fund, and it's used in a variety of areas. The same goes for North Glen, where 5 marijuana stores generated $730,000 in 2015. The money will go towards water purchases and capital improvements to infrastructure and city facilities. There are 62 cities and 22 counties in Colorado that allow retail marijuana sales, according to the state. Marijuana sales this year are expected to reach $1 billion in Colorado, and local government entities are cashing in. Henry Lastly, project director for Smart Colorado, a group that advocates for protections for children from marijuana, noted that about 70% of communities in the state have opted out of retail marijuana. Lastly said pot proceeds should go towards marijuana education and other efforts to enlighten the public on pot. Even Pueblo West, which isn't a town or city but a special district west of Pueblo, is seeing marijuana revenue. Pueblo West received about $200,000 from the county, and it plans to use that to fill potholes and fix roads. For a district of roughly 28,000 residents that is funded primarily through property taxes, it is a limited revenue source. The money from marijuana sales is a big deal, district officials said. Wheat Ridge has 5 locations that sell recreational marijuana, and 4 of them also sell medical pot, said city spokeswoman Maureen Harper. She said the city saw a total of $530,105 in sales taxes and fees associated with marijuana sales last year. In Denver, which has the state's most extensive recreational and medical marijuana markets, the city took in $29 million last year from all sales by taxes and licensing fees. That money goes into the general fund, and Denver devotes some to ramped up regulation, enforcement, public health, and education efforts, budgeted at $9.1 million this year. It also has dipped into pot taxes to cover higher costs on a recreational center project. No matter the size of the community, retail marijuana has been a big hit.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Colorado Department of Agriculture is accepting listings for the 2016 Colorado Hay Directory. The annual publication, celebrating its 30th anniversary, markets Colorado hay to buyers. For 30 years, the Colorado Hay Directory has been a vital tool for hay producers and buyers, said Wendy White, marketing specialist for the Colorado Department of Agriculture. We continue to get calls from hay buyers around the state and nation requesting copies of this popular publication. The listing fee is $25 and the deadline is June 15th. Forms are available at Colorado State University Extension offices or by contacting the Colorado Department of Agriculture. This free directory will be available in August through CSU Extension offices and various livestock associations in the state, as well as at agricultural events such as the Colorado State Fair, National Western Stock Show, and the Colorado Farm Show. Each listing includes the type and amount of hay available, bale type and size, whether or not laboratory analysis is available, certified weed-free status, and identifies organic hay. Listings are grouped by region of the state. The directory also includes listings for companies that offer hay-related products or services. Advertising opportunities are also available at $50 for a half-page ad or $90 for a full-page ad.
Reported from the LA Times, the founder of the Discovery Channel, an early cable TV hit, is turning to online streaming with a new subscription service called Curiosity Stream. John Hendricks started Discovery Channel in 1982 after watching HBO succeed in the 1970s. He made a fortune and left as chairman of parent company Discovery Communications last spring to pursue his new venture. Mr. Hendricks is also the owner-developer of the expansive Gateway Canyons Resort in Gateway, Colorado. Last week, Curiosity Stream launched with about 600 series, feature-length documentaries, and 20-minute or shorter clips on science, technology, and history. Access costs $2.99 a month for standard definition picture quality and $5.99 a month for high def. The first month is free. Curiosity Stream is expected to feature a mix of content acquired from BBC, NHK, and other producers, as well as original programming. Aimed at the curious population, the programming should be understandable. Hendricks says to everyone from 13-year-olds who enjoy building soda bottle rockets to retirees looking for deep commentary on the latest scientific breakthroughs. Because the cost of producing factual content is about 1/4 to 1/6 that of dramatic content, the services won't need to show ads, Hendricks said. He expects about 400 titles to be added this year, including a signature original production called Big Picture Earth. Hendricks said his service isn't a threat to big brands like Discovery or Netflix, since many people who fit into the targeted user base of academics, techies, and subject experts have high incomes, he said. They'll be able to afford 2 or all 3 of those services. Some of Curiosity Stream's original programming will be developed at the company's headquarters in Silver Spring, Maryland, across the street from Discovery. The Maryland location makes more sense than a base in Los Angeles, according to Hendricks, because it'll be easier to film interviews with the large number of experts who visit government, academic, and cultural institutions in Washington, D.C. Hendricks said he watches Curiosity Stream on an 84-inch television using Apple's AirPlay casting functionality. His favorites include Cosmic Front, a 15-part series on space exploration, and Twilight of Civilizations, which explores the fall of the Roman Empire. I wonder if it will include America at some point, too.
And now the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of May 23rd through May 29th. A resident reported 2 dogs missing. A female with a black and white border collie with a floppy ear, a male black border collie with white tips. Please contact the sheriff's office if you have seen these pets. A deputy completed a request for a welfare check. All parties were okay. A deputy responded to a report of a car versus farm tractor accident. Dispatch received a report of flooding on baseball fields from a broken water line. Maintenance personnel were contacted. That's it for this week's Roundup. Stay tuned next week for more updates.
In today's High Country happenings, first a local note that the Dolores County Transfer Station is now open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 9 to 5 through September 30th, before it goes back to Saturday and Sundays only. Also for Dolores County residents, a cleanup day will be June 11th, set up to help encourage people to clean up around their homes and lands by providing open dumpsters at the town offices. In Cortez, marked Saturday, June 18th, for their tire cleanup day for Montezuma County residents only, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Montezuma County landfill on Road F. The landfill will collect 1,000 tires for free, 9 tires per load, if they're free of debris, have no rims, and are from passenger and light trucks. IDs will be checked, and for details you can call 565-9858 or 565-3056. Dove's Dove Creek has its first annual Senior Shindig. It'll kick off on Sunday, June 5th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Dove Creek Firehouse. A barbecue pulled pork dinner is set for 1 p.m. Dancing to the oldies is encouraged with music provided by a DJ. There will be door prizes and special family photos available. It's free, so please RSVP to 970-562-4626 and bring a senior out for this special event. In political news, Jack Graham, running to be the Republican senatorial candidate for Colorado, will be in Dove Creek this Friday, June 3rd, from 2 to 3 p.m. at Deb's Diner. Come out and meet him or go online to jackgraham2016.com for more details. All of the event listings are available on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. If you have a suggestion, you can email us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119.
Again, thanks for tuning in. This program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. on Channel 32.1 Dolores County, on Channel 30.4 in Montezuma County, and their cable Channel 5.
And you can also rewatch the broadcasts on YouTube. Search DCTV News at Noon, and please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. On the next Talk Tuesday, June 7th, we'll welcome an in-studio guest, Kathleen Kiesling, to discuss the launch of the Dolores County Farmers Market this summer. Be sure to mark your calendar and call in to participate.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and all those who are working to bring you DCTV and the News at Noon program from Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. See you next time.